Hello everybody. We are going to be making gingerbread cookies today. It is the middle of February, but honestly, I just don't believe in the whole food goes out of season thing. So I like making pumpkin bread whenever I'm in the mood. I like making gingerbread cookies whenever I'm in the mood. So today, that's what we'll be doing. It'll be pretty easy gingerbread cookies with royal icing. And in case anyone out there is wondering, it's easy enough. You don't need any kind of special tools beyond cookie cutters, but if you don't have any, you can also just use a cup. If you have them, great. If not, don't worry. No need for any fancy piping bags. I don't have one, so I'm actually going to be using a sandwich bag later. You'll see, so keep watching to check that out. All right though, it's getting kind of late, so I'm gonna get started. All right, step one is to cream some shortening. I'm using some Crisco all vegetable shortening. You're going to cream 3/4 cup. Now, just to preface, I'm only one person, so I'm actually having this recipe. So in case this does not look like 3/4 cup, you are correct. It is only 3/8. Okay, I creamed 3/4 cup shortening and added in 3/4 cup of brown sugar as well. And now it's time to add in some molasses. We're gonna do 3/4 cup of molasses into this mixture and combine. All right, 3/4 of a cup molasses. Satisfying to look at. We are also going to add in 1 egg. I've only done this so that I can add 1/2 an egg. And we'll mix to combine this. Alrighty, and now it's time to do the dry ingredients. All right, we're going to add 3 cups of flour plus 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which I'm just going to eyeball right now. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, we are going to do 1/2 teaspoon of cloves, and 1 teaspoon each of cinnamon and ginger. Don't forget to preheat to 350 degrees. And we shall stir all of our ingredients together to combine. When you're done, it should come together, it should clump. It shouldn't be too wet, but if it is, you can add more flour. Now let's dust our surface with some more flour and we'll roll this out. Alrighty, now just gonna dust our rolling pin and also the gingerbread lightly. And we're gonna roll this out. And don't forget to keep moving it so it doesn't stick on the underside. An important step. One that I tend to forget. Go for it. So I've got all of my cute little shapes here. What I'm going to do is place all of my cookie cutters in the dough so that I can remove the dough around the cookie cutters and then have the best looking shapes. Otherwise, sometimes it can get a little bit tricky. Now I'm just getting picky. Maybe like this. This is kind of good. That'll do. This is just to help the cookies stay a little bit more together, you know? So I'll just start removing the dough from around the cookies. I'm putting it in a little pile so that I can combine this gingerbread dough to make my next batch. This one I can just remove, and look how nice it is. We'll just pop this onto our tray. This one's looking pretty good. Pop that one out as well. Okay, and once you've got a tray filled with your cookies, pop them in the oven for about 12 minutes at 350 degrees. I would check them after 10 just to make sure in case your oven's running a little hot or your cookies are a little thin. So it could be anywhere from 10 to 14 minutes to cook. Alrighty, let's pop them in. I took my cookies out after 11 minutes because the edges had just started to brown up a bit and firm. They will continue to harden as they cool. Just make sure you take them off of the oven. All right, and for the royal icing to go on top of our gingerbread cookies, you're going to need 3 cups of powdered sugar, 2 egg whites, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract, or you could also do lemon juice. This is just gonna be making white icing because I don't have any food dye, but it looks perfectly fine against some nice, beautiful dark gingerbread cookies. So let's go ahead and get started and start whipping those egg whites. All right, my egg whites are whipped. I have combined the egg whites with the vanilla extract and it's nice and frothy, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my powdered sugar now. And we'll just mix it together. A note, because I have my gingerbread recipe, I'm also having my icing recipe. Otherwise I'll have way, way, way too much icing. So if this does not look like 3 cups of powdered sugar, it's because it's not. It's going to get a bit harder to stir, but keep going. You're gonna wanna keep stirring this. This is a lot easier if you have a hand mixer. You're gonna keep stirring this until it turns glossy and smooth. All right, I've now stirred this for quite some time. It was a little too thick, so I did add extra vanilla extract, but I don't know if you can see how glossy this is now. This is a perfect consistency. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer this into a Ziploc bag and we'll start decorating. Okay, so I've got my bag. I'm gonna do my best to make this as close to a piping bag as possible. So we're shooting to get all of the icing into this triangular portion. And I'll put it in a cup for balance. And I've got my bag now of icing, and all I'm going to do is snip off just the tiny itty bitty little corner of the bag. Start small, and then if you can't get the icing out of that hole, if it's too small, you can enlarge it. I'm gonna go ahead and start decorating cookies. Alrighty, let's just see what we can do here. or maybe I'll do shoot. Look what happened. And the finished product, I confess some of them, like this, are not necessarily artwork, but a way to use up the icing because I didn't just want to throw it out because it's very good. These are blatant uses of icing, you can tell. But you know what? It will taste delicious. Alrighty, and that's all I have for tonight. Gingerbread cookies, pretty simple. You do not need all kinds of fancy baking equipment to make them. And honestly, who cares if they turn out a little ugly because you're just going to eat them in the end. So yes, I'm gonna go ahead and eat my ugliest cookie. That's my tradition. I eat the ugliest ones first. I leave the pretty ones for last because I feel like I don't want to eat them. But anyway. The icing is perfect. And they're snappy and gingery and very spicy and perfect. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.